Is that right? You know when you fighting against an enemy, you know what I'm saying, or just a motherfucker you just don't like, you know what I mean? And I've been fighting against a motherfucker for, man, really ever since I got into my adulthood, for real. You know what I mean? But this motherfucker right here jumped off in 2002. You know what I mean? Right when they raided my motherfucking apartment. Next thing you know, knock, knock, knock. Boom! Ah, da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So boom, land on the bed. They searching all around, you know what I mean? This, that, and the motherfucking third. So, next thing you know, they pull me over, lift me up, and then went to my jacket. It's like, we found something. I'm like, man, fuck y'all, you know what I mean? Whatever. So I'm like, that shit ain't mine. I'm not trying to hear that shit. Where the fuck that shit come from? Boom. Lock me up. Let my boys go. You know what I mean? So I get locked up. Sitting in the detention center in Harford County. Bam, call my cousin. Yeah, we all got. They gave me a $10,000 bail, man. Nothing serious and shit. You know what I mean? Get me out. I got you. All right. He gets me out. Yeah, I mean, you know, while I'm in there and shit. You know what I'm saying? I get my charge papers, right? And I'm looking at the charge papers. I'm like, they found 7 grams of cocaine. I'm like, what? I'm like, I didn't know approximately 7 grams of cocaine. So as I'm reading this shit, you know what I'm saying? All right, boom. You know, I'm bugging. I'm like, oh, yo, they put some crazy shit in it. I said, all right, whatever. Fast forward 6 months. Now I get the discovery. Now the discovery says something totally different. The discovery says I had 1.4 grams of cocaine and a heroin pill. Like, whoa, what the fuck? 1.4 grams of cocaine from the charge paper that said I had 7 grams, or approximately 7. It could be 6 or something, but 7 grams of cocaine, 1.4, and a heroin pill. I'm trying to figure out where the fuck did this heroin pill come from. But hold up, wait a minute. There's a larger discrepancy here. There's 5.6 grams of cocaine that is gone. Now, to put you in mind of what a gram is, a penny is a gram. So put together 7 pennies and then take away take away 6 of them. You can take away 6 of them. There's a significant difference, right? You know what I mean? So I'm wondering, like, how could trained policemen who says, you know, all in their description of their duties and this, that, and the third that'll be on the paperwork, that in the years that they've been able to identify cocaine and the packaging and the weights and this, that, and the third, that they can make such a big discrepancy. Damn, that's crazy. And then on top of that, they talk about how they found a heroin pill. I'm like, what? A heroin? Okay, all right. So in the charge papers where they just said that I had 7 grams of cocaine, and now mind you, they said that the 7 grams of cocaine was in one rock. So where did a pill come from? Because I'm pretty sure a pill is easily identifiable, right? You know what I'm saying? A capsule. Like a Tylenol capsule or some shit like that. So the heroin pills have been in the capsule, and they didn't put that in the charge paper. They didn't put that in none of the original charge papers. But it's in my discovery. I have now 5.6 grams lighter on the cocaine, but now a heroin pill. Okay. All right. So as I go on reading, boom, now it says that while on the premises the day of the raid, They did a narco field test. Okay, so they did a test where they put a piece of the cocaine in the chemical, and the chemical changes blue, I think it does, and they posed a field test and everything. Okay, and it came out to be cocaine.
Okay, alright, now, if that's the case, wouldn't you test what's in the capsule as well to find out exactly what type of drug that is? I'm just wondering, so did they do a field test on that as well? Because they didn't mention nothing about it if they did, but all of a sudden now it's heroin on my discovery.
Okay, alright, now this is dealing with the paperwork. Now, everything that I'm telling you is not just coming from recollection. I have the paperwork, and I'm gonna rock and roll the paperwork with you right now. Okay, but boom, this is from the day of the raid. You see right here, plastic bag containing clear white pill which contained white powder substance, suspected cocaine. Plastic bag containing white rock-like substance, suspected crack cocaine. All right. So now you see the weight, right? 1.4. You see that, right? And then you see the 4 right here. So this right here, trying to say that I had another that was from this supposed controlled by, which wasn't for me, but that's what they put down. All right, you see, they don't have the original source. They got the original source. It's coming from my apartment or me. Then you got the detective, but all this has my name right here. Okay, all right. Now we're gonna get into the charge papers right here. I mean, upon the facts contained, applicant of Officer Jerrick, formerly charged at James Green, charging document. All right, CDS, narcotic, not marijuana. Now, boom, here we go. Now it says, if you can't read it, according to the statement of charges filed by Deputy Mark Jerrick, Harford County Sheriff Department, the following is alleged to have occurred in case K05-1204 on Friday, November 1st, 2002, at approximately 16:01 hours. Members of the Harford County Narcotic Task Force executed a court order search and seizure warrant at 3504 Philadelphia Road, Part C, Abingdon, Maryland. The Honorable William O. Carr of the Harford County Circuit Court signed the warrant. Found in the residence was James Green, an African American, date of birth, having an address, Two other African American males were found in the residence and were searched and released at the scene. All right, now here comes the juice. Here comes the juice right here. Detectives conducted a complete and thorough search of the residence. The detectives recovered a plastic bag containing approximately 1/4 of an ounce of suspected cocaine.
1/4 ounce is 7 grams, people, because an ounce is 28 grams. Alright?
The plastic bag was located on a bed next to where James Green was sitting. The suspected crack cocaine was field tested using a narco pouch 904B field testing kit, which indicated a positive reaction for the presence of cocaine. Also recovered from Green's person was $1,900 in U.S. currency in various denominations. And then it just goes in how he was a certified police officer for over 6 years, and that you know what I mean. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see how he can recognize just drugs just off the giddy. You know what I mean? He could just look at it and be like, oh, that's quarter. It's quarter right there. These are paperworks, and it talks about. Here we go. Upon entering the apartment, Green was located sitting on a sofa. Wasn't a sofa. I was laying on a bed. As he was handcuffed, Detective Glassman observed a plastic baggie containing crack cocaine under Green's left arm and immediately recovered the bag. Okay. All right. Then it said the Miranda and all that old bullshit. And now they put down, let me see, 1886 in United States currency was from my pants pocket. And then it was put clear bag containing pill containing suspected cocaine and plastic bag containing suspected crack cocaine. That's a motherfucking lie. Yeah, I mean, now they changing to try to facilitate the lie that they was concocting against me. But you can clearly see the large discrepancy in fucking information. Now, understanding how the law works, all the police information needs to be needs to comport. It needs to be reflective of each other. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that it has to say the same thing, or it could be off just by a little bit, but not such a wide disparity. Not such a wide disparity. So it shows you that somebody was in cahoots. Now, let me tell you what happened. On the drive to, after I was placed in the handcuffs and put in the car, Detective Jarek is the one that's transporting me to the spot, to Harford County Detention Center. So I get in that, you know what I mean, get in the car, and I'm sitting there listening to what the fuck's going on. So as we driving, boom, he calls back at, I guess, the officers that was at my apartment. He calls, he talks to them. They gave him whatever information. When we got to the spot, he wrote it down on the charge papers. Now, so once he wrote the information down on the charge paper, he became responsible for it. Cause he's saying, you know what I mean, he attests, he swear, bop, 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 bop. You know how it go. So now, boom. And you got the other paperwork that's saying something totally different. We get the trial. Now they up in there and they acting like they don't know what in the world's going on. I don't know who gave me the information. All I did was call and get the information, but I don't know who I was talking to on the phone. How, as an officer, you don't know what other officer you was talking to on the phone during the course of an investigation?
And not one officer said, hey, I gave him that information. That was me. That was me, Your Honor. I did it. No, not one of them. Nobody claimed the information. Therefore, I was sitting there accused by a ghost. Boo.
The fuck out of here. So therefore it left me with no way to confront my accuser for the information, the wide disparity of information that was placed in my fucking documents. The information that convicted me before a jury comprised of, what was it, 10 white people, 1 African, and a brother. The brother tried to hold out. Brother, wherever you were, you tried to hold out. You did your thing, but they beat you down. They beat you down, man. You could hear y'all arguing all the way through the fucking hallway, man. Y'all just came back with the bullshit, and I wound up doing 10.5 years behind that shit. Now, looking at the disparity of the information, all the time that I've been in there, because I make sure that I go in there and I learn words. I make sure I go into the law library as soon as I hit the motherfucking the institution. Not at that particular point in time, it don't even turn into an institution no more. It turns into a campus, because I stay in that fucking library.
I stay studying. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, no, y'all not going to break the law to get me for allegedly breaking the law. Nah, it don't work that way. Don't work that way.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all supposed to be upstanding. Y'all supposed to have integrity, honesty, and all these different things like that. So I'm gonna hold y'all to that. You know what I mean? So now I'm learning, and I'm submitting petitions and motions, and they just deny me left and right. Even so much where they finally gave me a hearing, a post-conviction hearing. I went before the post-conviction hearing, and the judge didn't even hear all the allegations. He heard all the effective assistance of counsel allegations that I made. But once it got to prosecutorial misconduct for withholding evidence from my trial, the judge like, no. Once it got to the prosecutor, no, case over. Hearing over. Next thing you know, boom, 6 months later, I get a opine from the judge, and he's referencing the case. The prosecutorial misconduct. Hold on, how can you deny me that remedy and you didn't hear not one allegation, which you're compelled to do? That's state law. You're not following state law. So now the courts have broken a constitutional law by not allowing me to face my accuser, the person who actually gave the inconsistent evidence as to why that they gave that inconsistent evidence. What was they trying to do? Why was they manipulating law? Why was they tampering with evidence, essentially? You know what I'm saying? So they violated the federal law, and now they violating state law. You know what I mean? You know you have to address each and every allegation in a petition. So now I'm fighting against them. Try to take it. It was the federal court in Baltimore. And I'm just like, the argument is easy. I'm making an easy argument. Why is the judge going all around what the argument was? And I'm like, you're not addressing the argument. The argument is prosecutorial misconduct. The argument is constitutional. You know what I mean? So why are you not addressing the constitutional provisions? And then the answer that you gave had nothing to do with what I was asking for. So now it's a game of ring around the rosy for 10 years. Then on top of that, I almost forgot that originally 2002, when this happened, 2004, I went to trial. The original trial, they forced me to take a plea. So I took a 10-year mandatory minimum plea. Boom, that's it. But when I went to the prison, I automatically went to the law library, gave my time back within 18 months. 18 months, was able to prove ineffective assistance of counsel because they told me that I was facing 125 years for 3 counts of fucking drugs distribution. What? But me not knowing and understanding the law in its totality at that particular point in time, they was able to coerce me into doing it. Distribution 20 years. What they try to do is make it seem like they was going to run it wild, which means consecutively. So it would have been 20, 20, 20. And then they was adding on a whole bunch of other charges to try to trump everything up. So he tried to make it seem like it was 150 years. No. All I was really, in a totality, was facing 20 years for all the counts of cocaine. The felony counts of cocaine, distribution, and possession with intent. All those things supposed to be merged. Regardless of how everyone is structured with their own time, it's all a part of the same drug. You know what I'm saying? And especially when it's all a part of the same investigation, everything's supposed to be merged. So the most I would have been facing on that is the 20 years and then 4 years max on the heroin pill. So 24 years total, not 125. You know what I mean?
He was like, you 125 years and you're gonna be in front of an all-white jury out here in Harford County. You a black man from Baltimore City with prior drug charges.
I'm like, let me go ahead and take this motherfucking 10. Then you got the wife at the time was sitting there, take the 10. So I reluctantly took the fucking 10. The judge had to keep asking me over and over, you want to take them? I'm like, you know what I mean? I took 10, boom, gave it back 18 months. Filed my own petition, went in there, went into court, and amazed the judge because the state's attorney felt as though he get out with me.
And I understand your words. So you wasn't able to fool me. You couldn't trick me. You know what I'm saying?
And the judge thought it was so funny that he was just trying to come around, and I'm like, pew, 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 try. You know what I mean? And then boom, come with my own and knock his ass straight on his motherfucking ass. They had to vacate my fucking sentence, but then they chose to retry me.
What? Off this bullshit y'all got? Hey, Yeah, they had it all in plans, man. The public pretender was working with them. You know what I mean? The states was in cahoots, and the judge, man, and the judge, because originally I had to no parole.
Now, the law says that you can't increase my sentence upon retrial only if I show identifiable conduct. And identifiable conduct is defined as me doing something that has exacerbated or might actually show the intent of the crime that I was originally accused of. You know what I'm saying? Like if I would have got back into drugs while I was in prison after I was locked up, or going on lockup for stabbing somebody up, a violent propensity, I might got charged again, or something like that.
They gave me 60 years, all suspended but 20, with 40 suspended over my head. Suspended mean hanging over. No, you heard me right. 60 years. And the first 20, alright, the first 10 of that 20 is to be mandatory minimum. So I have essentially 20 years with the first 10 mandatory. No parole during the first 10, so I got to do 10 now. Not just a regular 10 no parole, because when you do 10 no parole, usually if you do the sentence whole, you probably come out in like 7 years rather. You know what I mean? But now with the extra 10 of the 20 that follows after the first 10 mandatory, I have to do a solid 10. And I wind up doing 10 and a half with no infractions. Done nothing wrong. Done what the fuck I supposed to do.
Your picture, I'm like, yo, I'm fighting to get my time back. I'll be damned if I'm gonna get in trouble over some dumb shit. Let me be smart. Let me walk my way through. And while I'm doing this shit, I'm also helping other cats doing their legal shit. Yeah, which is crazy. They always say, yeah, man, the jailhouse lawyer can get everybody else out of prison, but they damn self. And in this case, I mean, this instance right here, yeah, I couldn't get myself out.
Well, shit, they was not trying to respond to me in law, legalese. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because I had their ass. I don't play when it comes to law and articulate. Like I said, I know their words. So they didn't want to deal with me. So they made me do 10 and a half years, thinking it would break me. Say, nah. If he do the 10 years, I mean, he's not even going to worry about that shit. No,
you got the wrong motherfucker there.
But that shit just angered me over 10 years. And now it's just like, yo, I really have, because my whole thing was, I got to the point where it was just like, look, man, check this out. Just give me the 10 years no parole that you originally gave me. Because you have to fix my sentence. Because you gave me 6 times as much as my original sentence, with 40 years hanging over my head. So now with the probation and parole that I have to do, if I violated any way, shape, form, or fashion, I could potentially get the 40 years suspended over my head.
Ooh, you got the wrong motherfucker there.
Did you hear me? Because that's what 40 years suspended means. It don't mean we're suspending the time. It means, no, it's suspended. It's hanging over your head. That's why I said, watch the words. Watch the fucking words. It's suspended over my fucking head. So at any given fucking time, I can trip the motherfucking switch and bam. That's why you have to sit back, man. And I'm glad that I was able to educate myself while I was in prison to help other people. You know what I mean? And I'm continuing that education now. But it was just like, the whole prison process is frustrating as hell when you're fighting. When you're smart. It's just like my man Scooter. 27 years this man has done. 27. Wasn't Clarence Shipley? as a government and shit, yeah, I mean, he just got out of fucking prison after 27 years and he didn't commit the murder. He didn't do it. I mean, we was on the tier together. I even helped him with some legal shit to try to get him in fucking court. To try to sit back and read like, yo, I mean, because he was at wit's end. He's like, yo, I did not commit the fucking crime. And it was proven that he didn't, because now he's released.
So, yo, the criminal justice system definitely needs to be reformed. Definitely needs to be reformed. But it for real, it falls down to each and every individual state. You have the federal government that done, that did what is it? Justice reformation. You know what I mean? They changed the system, for inmates, convicts, and shit that's looking to come home in the federal system. No, I'm talking about the state, because the state hold much more than the federal system. Much more of us. So my thing is, each individual state need to do a reassessment. We the people need to be in these people's faces saying, no, you're not going to continue to subjugate my people. All of us need to band together. If you truly believe in equality of races, equality of man, equality of woman, you know what I'm saying? All this gender, then everybody have their own personal fucking, thing that they want to fight for. No. We're all fighting for the same fucking thing. Stop being fucking stupid. Stop being stuck on stupid. We need to band together and say, hey, let's use our collective power to create the change that we need collectively. Everybody to be seen as equal. And everybody have access to just things that will ensure justice is preserved.
I'm still in court fighting now, just to get my, and they do not want to let me back in court, whether it's on a reopening of my post-conviction, or whether it's a reopening of the trial itself, or just to fix my sentence. Just fix my sentence. You can't give me 60 years. You have to give me, by law, by federal law, you have to give me the time that I originally had, unless I showed any type of inclination, any identifiable conduct, and I didn't, because if I did, you would then had to relay on record what I done to have such a high increase in sentence. It has to be on record. None of that happened. You just arbitrarily gave me 65 years. So if I had the case, you didn't have the case. It doesn't matter who had the case. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let's not skip over the fact that these people forced me to take a lawyer that I had fired previously, which is my right, my constitutional right to fire representation. If there's a conflict of interest that exists, and there was, because I had filed ineffective assistance of counsel against him years prior, so we already had a nasty disposition. So when it came time where he placed himself on my case, I definitely had a issue with it. And I say he placed himself on my case because he was the district public defender of Harford County at the time. So he's the one who assigns the case. He assigned himself to my case. I wrote the courts, expressing my displeasure and the fact that we had a conflict of interest. The courts brought me in. The courts heard it. He removed himself. And the courts told me that I needed to get another attorney. Me being indigent at the time, meaning I didn't have any dough, just got out of jail, so I was kind of balls and knuckles at the time, and boom, I goes to, at the time I'm living in Baltimore City, back in town, so boom, I goes to the public defender's office on St. Paul, bam, I'm going there, fill out the paperwork, they sends it back up to Harford County, and once it gets to Harford County, the dude places himself back on my case. So immediately I contacted him. I contacted the courts again, expressing my displeasure and the fact that he was removed. So how could he place himself back on my case if he was already removed? Against my will. So boom, the courts didn't get in contact with me. We get to trial. I expressed my displeasure to the judge. The judge did a hearing, a quick hearing to address that situation, and basically sent it up to the judge that I had overturned his sentence. So I'm already going in a courtroom with a judge who is already biased that I had vacated his sentence prior when I had the 10 years, because he was a judge that sentenced me to the 10 years. So I get sent back in front of him. He denies my request for a postponement that day since I was firing my lawyer. So I had to go to trial that day. First postponement. Never asked for a postponement. You know what I mean? So I'm asking for a postponement. They're like, no, you can't have a postponement. You're going to court today. So now I'm stuck in a position where I can't even go out and try to locate another attorney. I have to try the case either with this motherfucker or do it pro se, which means myself. So I'm sitting there like, whoa. And my family and everybody like, yo, go ahead, take him, da. And then he come to me like, look, Mr. Green, let's let bygones be bygones. I want to represent you. It's a bullshit case, blah. You know, hit me with the demonstration. Next thing you know, falls forward. I'm like, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean? Let's rock. So we get up there. We do the whole jury thing and shit, you know what I'm saying? And then boom, we get to the trial the next day. So next thing you know, because the trial overall was like a 3-day trial, 5 days including the weekend. But so we now we in front of the jury, you know what I mean, during the trial, and he's jabbing, and this thing you know, boom, falls flat. I'm arguing with this dude like, yo, what type of shit is you trying to pull? I mean, he ain't objecting to nothing. And when I objected, the judge sits me down. So, essentially, I went through my trial with no objections. Nothing was preserved for appeal. Damn, that was a good one. I had nothing to preserve on appeal. Because he objected to nothing that was going on. He didn't bring up the constitutional violations. He didn't bring up the fact that the state case was garbage and that the state was allowing their own witnesses to perjure themselves. He didn't bring up none of that. Because I'm like wondering, the state witnesses is the police. How you didn't coordinate all your answers prior to trial? So you had to know what the officers was going to say. Come on now. That's only common sense. So for them to get up there and sit up there, I don't know who the information came from. I didn't give him the information. What? So who gave this man the information? Because he said he didn't make up the information. He was given the information. So I'm trying to figure that out. You know what I mean? And my public defender allowed all that to happen. No, public pretender allowed all that to happen. So that's an issue in my case as well. And that's not to even mention these fake ass fucking post-conviction lawyers and shit, you know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be there to help the people. I mean, but then when it comes against them going against the state or the judge, judiciary or whatever, I mean, business interests, they sit back and say, well, it's a whole bunch of ums. Everything started off, everything gravy, everything is right. And then it turns into ums once the dog on fire get to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? You can see what I see. Law is law. That's just what it is. Why play the game? Play the game because they're scared. You know what I mean? They advocate. They say they advocate. But it's really just for the high-profile murder beefs. Drug crimes? Nah, they get pushed to the side. They don't care about that. You know what I mean? So don't think that these other groups are really taking interest in exonerating, people that the everyday average alleged drug dealer. You know what I mean? They don't care. So don't think that they do. It's damn shame. Playing the people like that.
So understand this, man. Understand this. We are fighting a serious war. We have people on the outside. We need y'all. Just as well as y'all need the people on the inside who really understand the system. Everybody needs to work their fucking part, man, to bring this system down. That's just plain and simple. You know what I mean? I just don't get up here and just be talking just to be fucking talking. I'm talking to fucking motivate people to fucking do what the fuck they supposed to be doing. As adults, as humans, we just don't turn a blind eye to fucking bullshit, man. Come on now, man. Your mama raised you better than that. And if she didn't, she shoulda. Now it's time for us adults to grab your fucking ass up and say, hey. You gotta get some common sense, man. You gotta use your motherfucking noodle. You don't know. This is some real shit right here, man. This is real shit. This is what they scared of. And I ain't even show you the transcripts of the court, so I got all the motherfucking shit that they say. This is real shit, man. This is real life. We gotta make it how we make it. And if it ain't working right, we gotta fix that shit. Or break it the fuck up. Get rid of it. And create a new motherfucking way. You know what I'm saying? Alright, people? Whew. The fight continues, man. The beat goes on. The beat goes on. Jim P, man. Silver Gorilla Apparel Media Music. Peace. Yeah.
Yo, where the ref at? Cause in this game there's always someone cheating. To check it, it's a damn shame I got a hat, but not a home to put it down in. I get tired of people
Welcome to the bridge. This is where we come together, we sit back and talk, and we conversate about things that affect everyday America. We are so tired of everybody else trying to define our narrative. Nah, we taking it back. We're defining our own narrative from a true perspective, a vantage point of the streets, from the streets, by the streets, for the streets, and for everyone else to sit back and take notice and understand where we're coming from. You know what I mean? We call this the bridge. We uniting everyone, all the families of humanity to come and build with us. Sit back, listen to the commentary, laugh, but most of all, think. To think about things instead of reacting to so much. This is what the bridge do. And I'm James Green. To press that like button. Share it. Give it to your people.